So first of all, congratulations to the both of you on season 2. It must be so rewarding and gratifying to just know that America and the network executives want more of your work. So congrats on that. Underground it takes the audience to so many places that are in a lot of ways uncomfortable. And season 2 deals a lot with that. It seems like from the one episode that we saw last night. So where could audiences expect to go, and how would you describe these places?
Well, I think season 2 is much more political than the first season, and the theme or the sort of tagline is citizen or soldier, and I think it's really questioning what are these people's roles, their place in this world, and how far do they have to go to make it count, and as individuals and as a community. And I think that's we're seeing that conversation and that action in our world now, and it's just like it's a very interesting thing to see the parallels. I think it's
yeah, for sure. When it comes to just the resilience that we're seeing in these characters, there's a lot of responsibility for the actors and actresses to kind of breathe life into these characters that often have just a larger than life persona, and a lot of times they were brushed under the history books, so we don't really know about them. So what have you learned about these larger-than-life characters like Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass in your research?
I think what's beautiful is that with this series we can really get intimate with them, and so it's no longer just them, this kind of glamorized version,
right,
but just their everyday, the things that they struggled with, little idiosyncrasies that we get to find out about. That's really interesting. And I think there's something to realize. When you realize they're human, you realize what we're all capable of, and it makes them, that distance between us and them gets shortened, and you kind of say, wow, if we kind of, as long as we keep that at bay, we can never get anything done. But once we start to have it intimate and say, wow, Harriet was human, you know what I mean? She had friends, she had a father, she had a history, she had, a mom.
Yeah, her you get a little sense of her romantic life as well. That Harriet, she was a woman, she had a partner, and
which we know,
right.
But you kind of take it for granted, this one story, and then even going through it with how many miles that she would go back into danger. I mean, when you take that out of a history book and actually put that and you act that out, you're just really impacted by this happened. Like this person did this, and so it's like for little girls all over, they're little Harriets and little these around the world, and it's like, oh yeah, you just have to believe it.
Earlier you mentioned just how much more political this season has gone. And in a lot of ways, while Underground is about the past, it's also about the present, where we are today. So when it comes to the psychology of the slave mentality, of what you kind of come to understand, I guess more so having studied these characters, what do you know about the psychology of the slave mentality? And this is kind of a two-part question, but when it comes to today where we are, some people are being called house Negroes. Let's just say Steve Harvey, for example, for going to speak with the president. Given your understanding of that psychology, is he betraying the African American community by meeting with the president of the United States?
I think it's about ignorance versus being informed. And I think right now, it's very, very easy to tag onto anything tweeted. It's very easy to post something quickly. We see that in our highest office.
Right.
And so I just think, the excitement of our show is the idea of making people ask questions and saying, get informed, find out more information. I think the in terms of the legacy of enslavement, which is, it's a part of our history, that's imbued in everything. And so a part of what they used to keep us all separate was ignorance.
Right.
And so that seems to be continuing. If you ask anyone about, their views on things, it becomes very generic. And people aren't actually figuring out, well, if you're for this policy, but do you know the how this is? Have you really read all of the details?
Right.
And I myself have been since this show, and just as a growing an adult woman, to say, we have to. It's our duty to become more informed about things that we're going to be passionate about, or stay silent.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to more from season 2, and we look forward to more of your work in the future. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.